been lived. I'm gonna turn that thing down so I can actually be able to speak because I am dead. Anyways, be good. Oh, okay. Lower than recommend. Excuse me. Okay, we're good. Yeah. Yep. Everyone's favorite type of my content is so beautiful. Oh crap, I forgot to change. Everyone's favorite type of my content is let me just oh my god. I'm lagging so bad. Oh my god. Freaking cooked. Oh. I typed it's not my birthday. It's not my birthday. Yep, there we go. Oh, that is. Just gonna watch some random stuff while I wait for people to live. Oh.
Oh, thank you!
So that's a device. On June 19th, it's toys versus tech.
Bonnie doesn't play with toys anymore.
She's doing something.
Turn it off! I can't! I have plastic fingers!
Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 5.
That should not be.
Close your eyes and no peeking.
We can't do this.
Trust me.
Oh.
I'm madly clumsy. Ladybug. Call me Ladybug.
This is crazy.
This girl is awesome. She's crazy awesome. Meredith, right? We've bumped into each other before.
Yeah, a bunch of times. I mean...
That's where I hit her granddaughter.
Wait, no! She's a...
Whoever she is beneath that mask, I love that girl.
You're in love with Ladybug?
Her worship you is pretty awesome.
Seriously? Don't worry, Capillar. Meredith's safe. Come on, you don't actually believe she's the real Ladybug. Adrian?
Yeah, I'm fine. What about Marinette?
Yeah, we've got everyone. I'm so sorry.
Why? It's not your fault.
No, yeah, I mean... Dark Cupid...
I swore to myself that I'd tell you as soon as I saw you. Ladybug, I love you.
Oh dang.
Marinette.
Oh my god. This should not be so funny.
Closet.
That was more funny than it should be. Oh. There was something wrong with it. My For You page is kind of strange. Oh, sweet! Drama. Isn't that so lovely? Yeah. Baldy goes. For the sake of life, of my life, we're not gonna watch Baldy going to court. That's pretty art. That's really nice art. I can never draw like that. Well, good luck to the Bear Candy Show. Failed is crazy. Oh, well, that's.
Making Charlie's Inferno for my me.
Do you know there's actually a test to find out if your friends actually like you? What's the test? So recently...
You heard me when I said before, you better put it.
You look so pretty when you tell me that you love me. I wish that I could lie, but my mind gets in the way. I know you think that I'm always way too self-aware. Oh, we could never be together, but it's nice to. You look so pretty when you tell me that you love me.
Gets off. Why is my device so low? Hold on. You're gonna have to go down volume. You? There. Okay. Life is good. Oh. So bored. Ooh, that's some good R&D redesign. Ooh. Oh. Oh, that's cute. That's kind of cute, actually. Oh. Osmo, you okay? Oh, Tisha. Oh, that's a great yacht. Oh. Louie, I think you popped out of Tempo. You good? Oh, Russia. That's kind of cute. I like that. If I saw that chasing me, I'd be scared for my life. And that. Not that much, but that's the. Oh, I'd be terrified of that in the blackout. Oh, it's actually kind of cute. It's cute-ish. Why are some of these cute and some of these like the most godly terrifying things I've ever seen? Oh. Oh, that is a terrifying squirm. Oh, cousin. Oh, no. Oh, ew, it has a tongue. That's cute. Oh. Oh, that is. Oh. Oh my god. Oh. Oh, I'm scared. Oh. Oh. No. I'd be terrified. This is, oh. Oh, oh god. Oh my god. Oh. Oh, I'm scared. Oh. Oh. No. I'd be terrified.
I'm glad my sister slept with my boyfriend. I sat at the dining table pushing food around my plate while my sister Christy talked about herself for the third time that hour. Christy had this way of making every dinner feel like her personal TED Talk. She examined her manicured nails while she spoke, tilting her hand to catch the light like she was admiring a diamond ring that wasn't there. My boyfriend Leon sat next to me scrolling through his phone under the table. Lately, he'd been checking out mentally while I sat right next to him. Christy's boyfriend Mason sat across from me, arms crossed, watching her with the kind of tired expression that told me he'd heard whatever she was about to say at least 10 times before. So I've been thinking, Christy said. She looked around at all of us like she was about to deliver a keynote speech. I have this idea. It's kind of crazy, but hear me out. Mason muttered, "Here we go," under his breath, and Christy shot him a look that could curdle milk. He didn't flinch, just leaned back in his chair and waited. I'd always thought Mason was quiet because he was boring. Now I was starting to think he was quiet because he'd learned that speaking up around Christy was pointless. "I think you and I should swap boyfriends," Christy announced. I blinked, then laughed out loud because there was no way she was serious. I looked at Leon expecting him to be laughing too. He wasn't. He had finally looked up from his phone and was watching Christy with more interest than he'd shown me in months. "I'm serious," Christy continued. She smiled the way she always did when she wanted something, the one that made her look sweet, but felt like a threat. "Think about it. Mason is so boring. No offense, babe." She waved her hand in Mason's direction without actually looking at him. He never wants to do anything spontaneous. He just wants to stay home and watch movies and cook dinner. It's like dating a retirement home. Mason snorted quietly. "Better than dating a tornado that destroys everything and calls it excitement," he said. His voice was calm, but there was an edge underneath it. Christy ignored him completely, like she hadn't even heard him speak. "And Leon?" Christy said, leaning forward with her chin in her hand. "He's adventurous. He's fun. He's always down to try new things. I just feel like we'd be way more compatible. It makes sense if you think about it." I stared at her. "You're insane," I said flatly. "I'm practical," she replied. "Why should we both be stuck in relationships that don't fit when we could just trade? It's not like any of us are married, Bailey." "Christy, that is genuinely the dumbest thing I've ever heard you say. And you once told me you thought the sun and the moon were the same thing." "I was 12, she snapped. "And stop deflecting. I'm offering you an upgrade." She gestured toward Mason like he was a prize on a game show. Mason raised an eyebrow but said nothing. Leon cleared his throat. "I mean," he said slowly, "it's not the worst idea." My whole body went cold. I turned to look at him so fast my neck cracked. "Excuse me?" He shrugged. One of those lazy, careless shrugs that made me want to throw my fork at his face. "What? I'm just saying. Might be fun to try something different. We've been together 2 years, Bailey. Things get stale." "Stale," I repeated. My voice came out flat and hard. "Yeah, don't act like you haven't noticed." I had noticed. I just thought it was something we'd fix together. Not something he'd use as an excuse to trade me in for my sister.
That's crazy,
Christy clapped
bro.
her hands together. "See? Leon gets it. Come on, Bailey.
I'm gonna
month.
continue
That's
this
all I'm
later.
asking.
I'm
If it
bored.
doesn't work out, we switch."
Dang. My back. No, wait, no, not my back.
Yeah, don't act like you haven't noticed. I had noticed. I just thought it was something we'd
No, we're not. I don't care anymore.
Here's Bailey. Things get stale. Stale, I repeated. My voice came out flat and hard. "Yeah, don't act like you haven't noticed." I had noticed. I just thought it was something we'd fix together. Not something he'd use as an excuse to trade me in for my sister. Christy clapped her hands together. "See? Leon gets it. Come on, Bailey. 1 month. That's all I'm asking. If it doesn't work out, we switch back and forget it ever happened. No harm done." "No," I said. "Why not?" "Because it's crazy. Because you're my sister. Because this isn't a Netflix movie. Pick a reason." She rolled her eyes so hard I thought they might get stuck. "God, you're so dramatic. It's not that serious. Mason doesn't care." She looked at him expectantly. "Right, babe? Tell her you don't care." Mason looked directly at me. His expression was unreadable, but something flickered behind his eyes. Exhaustion. Maybe amusement. Maybe pity. Whatever makes this dinner end faster. Christy beamed like he'd just proposed. See? She reached into her designer purse and pulled out a folded piece of paper. I even drafted a little contract. 1 month minimum. No backing out early. No running to mom and dad. We all agree to give it a real shot. She slid the paper across the table toward me. Come on, Bailey. Live a little. Unless you're scared Mason won't like you. That was the trap. I saw it the second she said it. Christy had been pushing my buttons since we were kids, and she knew exactly where every single one was located. The smart move was to stand up and leave. To grab Leon and walk out and never speak of this ridiculous idea again. But Leon was already reaching for the pen. Leon, I said sharply. Don't you dare. He signed his name without hesitation. Without even glancing at me. Like I wasn't sitting right there. Like 2 years meant absolutely nothing. Relax, babe, he said, sliding the paper to Christy. It's just a month. Might be good for us. Shake things up. Might be good for us. Like I was the problem. Like our relationship was stale because of something I did wrong. My vision blurred with anger. 2 years I had given him. 2 years of excusing his laziness and his selfishness and his inability to make me feel like a priority. And this was how he repaid me. By signing away our relationship at this dinner table without a second thought. Christy signed next, her signature as dramatic and loopy as her personality. Then Mason signed with a quick scribble, still looking vaguely amused by the whole thing. They all turned to look at me. Bailey, Christy said sweetly, poison wrapped in honey. Don't be the only one who ruins this. I should have walked away. I should have told every single one of them to rot. But Leon had signed that paper like he'd been waiting for an escape hatch. And something about that made me refuse to be the pathetic one begging him to stay. I grabbed the pen, signed my name in hard, angry strokes, then threw the pen onto the table so hard it bounced. Christy smiled. That perfect, practiced smile that never once reached her cold eyes. Trust me, she said. This is going to be the best thing that ever happened to you. She had no idea how right she was. You see, I signed that contract thinking I was the one getting screwed over. My boyfriend wanted out so badly he agreed before I could even say no. And now I was stuck with some stranger my sister called boring. But here's what my sister didn't know when she forced me to sign that paper. Her boring, safe, not exciting enough boyfriend? He was hiding something that was about to flip this entire situation on its head. And the second she found out, she was going to lose her mind. Mason texted me 2 days later asking if I wanted to grab coffee. I stared at the message for a full minute trying to figure out if this was some kind of trap Christy had set up. But the text was simple. No games. Just, hey, figured we should actually talk since we're stuck together for a month. Coffee? I typed back sure, before I could overthink it. We agreed to meet at a cafe halfway between our apartments. Neutral territory. I got there 15 minutes early, ordered a latte I didn't really want just to have something to hold, and grabbed a table in the corner. When Mason walked in, I almost didn't recognize him. Every time I'd seen him before, he'd been sitting next to Christy looking like he wanted to dissolve into the floor. Now he walked in wearing a simple black t-shirt and jeans, hands in his pockets, looking like a completely different person. Relaxed, unburdened. He spotted me and gave a small wave before sitting across from me. For a moment, neither of us said anything. Then he laughed quietly and shook his head. This is weird, right? He said. It's not just me. It's extremely weird, I quickly agreed. I keep waiting for Christy to pop out from behind a plant and tell me this was all some elaborate prank. That would require her to admit she was wrong about something, Mason said. So we're safe. I snorted. I couldn't help it. He smiled a little, and I realized I'd never actually seen him smile before. Not once in the entire year Christy had been dating him. So, he said, leaning back in his chair, how are you holding up? With the whole Leon situation? I wrapped my hands around my cup and thought about how to answer that. The honest answer was that I'd spent the last 2 days cycling between rage and humiliation. The polished answer was that I was fine and handling it maturely. I went with honest. I keep replaying it in my head, I admitted. The way he just signed that paper without even looking at me. I was already gone in his mind. Mason nodded slowly. Yeah, that was rough to watch. Was it obvious? I asked. From the outside, I mean. That things were bad between us? He considered the question for a moment. I don't know if bad is the right word. It was more like he wasn't fully there. Every time I saw you two together, he was either on his phone or looking somewhere else. You'd be talking and he'd be checked out. I noticed because... He stopped himself. Because what? Because Christy does the same... From the outside, I mean. That things were bad between us? He considered the question for a moment. Thing to me, he said. Different flavor, but same energy. She's not checked out, she's just waiting for her turn to talk. Every conversation is just her waiting for an opening to bring it back to herself. The TED Talk thing, I said. Exactly. I used to think maybe I was boring. She told me I was boring so many times I started to believe it. But then I realized she called everything boring that wasn't directly about her. A movie she didn't pick? Boring. A restaurant that wasn't Instagram-worthy? Boring. Me wanting to spend a night cooking dinner instead of going to some overpriced club? Boring. She called you a retirement home at dinner. That's a new one, actually. Usually it's grandpa or old man or my personal favorite. Why are you so obsessed with being comfortable? He said the last part in a pitch-perfect imitation of Christy's voice, and I laughed harder than I meant to. She's exhausting, I said. I love her because she's my sister, but God, she's exhausting. She's a black hole, Mason said. Everything gets sucked into her orbit. Your time, your energy, your money. I spent $800 on a purse for her birthday, and she returned it because it wasn't the right shade of beige. $800? How the hell could he buy that and not bat an eye? What did he do for work? I was definitely going to ask after he finished ranting about my sister. She showed me the exact one she wanted. I bought it. Apparently there's a difference between sand and oatmeal, and I should have known that. I shook my head in disbelief. Leon forgot my birthday last year. Just completely forgot. I reminded him the week before and the day before, and he still forgot. Then he got mad at me for being upset because birthdays aren't that serious. Christy made me throw her a surprise party and then got mad that I invited her friends instead of people who would make her look better. Mason said. I still don't know what that means. It means she wanted hot friends for photos, I said. Her friends are hot. Not hot enough, apparently. We both laughed and something changed between us. The awkwardness melted away, and suddenly we were just two people who had been through the same war comparing scars. Can I be honest with you? Mason asked. Please. When Christy brought up this whole swap thing, I wasn't surprised. I was relieved. I've been trying to find an exit for months, but every time I brought up breaking up, she'd cry or threaten to tell everyone I was emotionally abusive or say she'd hurt herself. I was trapped. My stomach turned. Mason, that's manipulation. Yeah, I know. But when you're in it, you don't see it clearly. You just feel guilty all the time and you don't know why. He ran a hand through his hair. Anyway, I signed that contract because it was the first door she'd opened willingly. Even if it's only a month, it's a month where I don't have to pretend anymore. I understood that more than I wanted to admit. Leon made me feel like I was asking for too much, I said quietly. Somehow wanting him to pay attention to me was needy. He made it feel like expecting him to remember things was demanding. I kept shrinking myself to fit into whatever space he left for me, and it was never enough. We both picked wrong, Mason said. We really did. He smiled again. That small, quiet smile that made his whole face soften. Well, silver lining, at least we're stuck with each other now instead of them. Is that a silver lining? I guess we'll find out. I smiled back. For the first time since that disaster of a dinner, I felt something other than anger. I felt seen. Hey, random question, I said. What do you do for work? I realized I don't actually know anything about you. Christy never talked about you unless she was complaining. Mason hesitated. Something flickered across his face. Not quite discomfort. More like he was deciding how much to share. I actually just quit my job, he said. About 3 weeks ago. Oh. I tried to keep my expression neutral. So how did he afford the $800 bag? Was he secretly a trust fund baby? Are you looking for something new or? Not exactly. He took a long sip of his coffee. I quit because I don't really need to work anymore. He paused and laughed awkwardly. This is going to sound insane. I won the lottery. Like, actually won. Not like $100. I mean, I won millions. I choked on my latte. Coffee went down the wrong pipe, and I spent the next 30 seconds coughing while Mason handed me napkins looking mildly concerned. Sorry, he said. I probably should have led with that. You probably should have, I wheezed. Millions? Yeah. Millions. Plural. Yeah. And Christy doesn't know? Nobody knows. I haven't told anyone. I didn't even tell Christy because he stopped and looked at me like he was waiting for me to connect the dots. I connected them instantly. Because she'd never let you go. Because she'd never let me go, he confirmed. She'd suddenly love everything about me. The staying home, the cooking, the comfortable, quiet life. All of it would become perfect the second she found out there was money attached. I sat back in my chair and stared at him. This man my sister had thrown away because he wasn't exciting enough. This man she called boring and safe and compared to a retirement home. He was a millionaire, and she had absolutely no idea. She's going to lose her mind, I said. Mason's jaw tightened. Yeah, he said quietly. I know. A millionaire. This man my sister threw away because he wasn't exciting enough had just won millions of dollars. I knew my sister better than anyone. I knew exactly what she was like when she didn't get what she wanted. But Christy not getting something she never knew existed? That was one thing. Christy finding out she had it and gave it away? That was going to be nuclear. The only question was how long until she found out. And honestly, it didn't take long at all. Mason called his mom a week later to tell her the mortgage was paid off. I was sitting next to him on his couch when he made the call, and I watched his whole face light up as she cried happy tears on the other end. It was one of the most genuine moments I'd ever witnessed. What neither of us realized was that Christy had shown up unannounced again, still using the key she refused to give back. She was standing in the hallway when she heard him say, "It's done, Mom. The whole thing. You and Dad never have to worry about the house again." Then we heard someone screaming like a banshee. It was Christy. "How?" Christy shrieked, storming into the living room like a tornado in designer heels. "How did you pay off a mortgage, Mason? That's hundreds of thousands of dollars. Where did you get that kind of money?" Mason's face went pale. He ended the call with his mom and stood up slowly. "Christy, you need to leave. I'm not going anywhere until you tell me what the hell is going on," she screamed. Her eyes were wild, darting between me and Mason like she was trying to solve a puzzle that would ruin her life. "You work a normal job. You drive a 10-year-old car. You told me you couldn't afford to take me to Cabo for my birthday. And now you're paying off mortgages? It's none of your business," Mason said. His voice was calm, but I could see his hands shaking slightly. "We're not together anymore. Remember? You made sure of that." Christy's head snapped toward me. "You!" she hissed. "You knew. You knew this whole time, didn't you? That's why you agreed to sign that contract so easily. You knew he had money and you played me." I scoffed. "Are you hearing yourself right now? You proposed the swap. You wrote the contract. You forced everyone to sign. I didn't even want to be part of this ridiculous situation, but you and Leon made that choice for me. There's no way this is a coincidence," Christy insisted. Her voice was getting higher and more unhinged with every word. "You must have found out somehow. Maybe you went through his stuff. Maybe you hacked his bank account. I don't know how, but you knew and you stole him from me." "I didn't steal anyone," I shot back. "You threw him away. You literally handed him to me on a silver platter because you wanted my neglectful checked-out boyfriend instead. That was your choice, Christy. No one made you do that." "I didn't have all the information," she screamed. If you had known he was rich, you would have pretended to love him," I finished. "That's exactly why he didn't tell you. He knew you'd only want him for his money. And look at you right now, proving him right." Christy's face turned a shade of red I'd never seen before. She looked like she was about to spontaneously combust. "This isn't fair," she wailed. "I deserve to know these things. We were together for a year. You should have told me." "Why?" Mason asked quietly. "So you could suddenly find me interesting? So you could pretend the staying home and cooking and comfortable life wasn't boring anymore? I know exactly how that conversation would have gone, Christy. You would have loved everything about me the second you found out there was money attached. And that's exactly why I never told you." Christy opened her mouth to respond, but nothing came out. For once in her life, she had nothing to say. She grabbed her purse and stormed out, slamming the door so hard a picture frame fell off the wall. I thought that would be the end of it. I was wrong. The next morning, my phone exploded with calls from my mother. When I finally answered, she told me Christy had called an emergency family meeting and I needed to come home right now. No excuses. I walked into my parents' living room an hour later to find Christy already in position. She was curled up on the couch with a blanket around her shoulders, tissues scattered around her, eyes red and puffy from what I assumed was strategically timed crying. My mom sat next to her, rubbing her back. My dad stood by the fireplace looking uncomfortable. "Bailey," my mom said in that soft, disappointed voice she reserved for moments when she thought I'd done something wrong. "We need to talk about this situation with Mason." "Let me guess," I said flatly. "Christy told you her version and now I'm the bad guy." "No one said that," my mom said. "Your sister is hurting." Christy let out a theatrical sob. "I just want things to go back to normal," she whimpered. "I made a mistake. I admit it. I should never have suggested the swap. But Bailey is rubbing it in my face and refusing to switch back, and it's not fair." "A mistake," I repeated. "You planned this for weeks. You drafted an actual contract. You brought a pen to dinner, Christy." "I didn't know what I was giving up," Christy wailed. "He kept things from me. He hid who he really was. How was I supposed to make a fair decision without all the information?" "So now it's his fault you treated him like garbage?" I asked. "He didn't owe you his bank statements. You were supposed to love him, not treat him like a wallet." My dad cleared his throat. "Bailey, maybe your sister has a point. This whole thing has gotten out of hand. Why don't you just end it early and let everyone move on?" She hasn't stopped crying. "She's crying because she missed out on millions," I said. "Not because she lost some great love. If Mason was still broke, she'd be at brunch right now posting selfies with Leon." "That's not fair," Christy insisted. "You don't know what's in my heart. I had something real with Mason and I didn't see it. Is that what you want me to say? Fine. I was blind. I took him for granted. But I see it now." "You see his wallet?" I said. "That's not the same thing." My mom sighed. "Bailey, please. Just consider ending this early. For the family's sake." I looked at my parents. At my sister. At the perfectly orchestrated intervention designed to guilt me into giving Christy what she wanted. And I felt something cold and final settle in my chest. "No," I said. "The contract says 1 month minimum. No backing out early. No running to mom and dad." I looked directly at Christy. "Those were your rules. You wrote them specifically so I couldn't escape when things got hard. Well, guess what? Now you can't escape either. You want to be with Leon so badly? Go be with him. Leave me and Mason alone." I walked out before anyone could respond. 2 days later, Mason showed up at my apartment looking exhausted. He dropped onto my couch and pulled out his phone without saying a word. "You need to see this," he said, handing it to me. I scrolled through the messages from Christy. There were dozens of them, maybe hundreds. I made the biggest mistake of my life. Please give me another chance. I miss you so much. I miss your cooking. I miss your hugs. I miss everything about you. I'll change. I promise. I'll stay home every night. I'll watch whatever you want. I'll never complain again. I love you, Mason. I've always loved you. I was just too stupid to see it. I'll cook for you. I'll learn all your favorite recipes. I'll be the girl. Everything about you. I'll change. I promise. I'll stay home every night. I'll watch whatever you want. I'll never complain again. I love you, Mason. I've always loved you. I was just too stupid to see it. I'll cook for you. I'll learn all your favorite recipes. I'll be the girl.
Alright, it's thundering and lightning and stuff. So we're gonna end stream early just in case something bad happened and I don't wanna stream that. Thank you for not watching whatever happened. I don't think anyone even came into stream, but I'll stream again tomorrow. No, I'll stream again like in a few weeks because I have to move soon. Anyways, thank you for watching. Goodbye. Goodbye. Can I end stream? Please? Please? Please?